This show is brought to you by IslamicMusicHub.com.
I'll start my story from the beginning. I'm Malak from Palestine. I live in north of Gaza. Before the start of the war, I was ready to go to my university. My siblings were preparing to go to their schools, and my parents to their works, like any family in this world. But before we get out from our house, missiles started from everywhere, completely everywhere. My youngest sister, at the 8th year of her age, started to scream from fear. Horrible voices can't be avoided. Unfortunately, our journey of displacement started. Our journey of displacement began to search for a safe place in the north. We went to our uncle's house and we stayed for some time. Suddenly, there was a horrible massacre in the neighborhood. The occupation doesn't care about the children or women. They started to throw huge bombs to destroy complete residential quarter. This place wasn't safe anymore, so that we started to look for another place where we find safety. We went to one of our relatives' house again, and we stayed there for one day only, because the shelling in the nearby houses didn't stop. Death was everywhere. We, we searched for another safety place for the third time, but unfortunately, there is no safe place here. At the afternoon, when we were preparing lunch, the occupation targeted another nearby house without warning. Shrapnel was falling everywhere on innocent children while they were playing. Therefore, we hurried to carry our luggage and we took the children away from the targeted place. We were very scared. I don't know how to describe the feelings we lived, but it was a very difficult time. Try to imagine that feelings, perhaps my feelings up to yours. After we failed to find a safe place in the north, we were forced to go to the south. In the south of Gaza, we don't have relatives or shelter. We didn't know where can we go. We didn't know anything except we want safety. We're not guilty for all this. We went to the south thinking that the war will end in a few days. But the war didn't end, and the days increased. Suffering increased also. We were homeless. We missed the lowest requirements of life. After all this suffering, the south of Gaza is not safe either. There are 8 members in my family, and therefore it was difficult to find a room in a house to live. 40 members of my relatives also come to live in this house. Children, elders, women are all innocent people, and they live in this house. One day, we were trying to sleep. A missile launched and hit the house next to us. The demolished walls fell down on sleeping people. Dust and shrapnel filled the place. There were many injuries and martyrs. My cousin was injured and dead after 2 days, and 14 martyrs from my neighbors. They didn't have a guilt. They were living in their house, safety. They were living in this house safely and suffering, struggling to provide food for their children, like everyone here. We become sure that the suffering in Gaza is also unsafe and is not as the occupation claims. We spent most of the time in the search for a safe place, and we never found one. Moreover, lowest life requirements are not available. People are suffering from starvation and infection diseases because the lack of clean water and food. Finding the food is not easy. The goods are not available and the shops are empty. One day I was looking for a jacket to buy and didn't find. We don't have sufficient clothes to protect us from cold or even enough blanket to sleep at night. Here in Gaza, we always live in fear. We can't even sleep because of the annoying high sounds of the poles all day and night. It's really suffering and can't be described by talking. Let me talk about our stolen dreams in Gaza. I'm a student in the second year at the university. My major is a computer engineering. I had a beautiful life living with my family and dreaming of a better future. Now my university no longer exists, nor do my favorite places. My parents had worked for long years to build our dream home. It was a new wonderful house where we lived for only 1 year. But my home is no longer beautiful as it was. During the invasion, the occupation forces burned my house, and my beautiful room is gone. It took all my dreams and memories. My younger sister Lama is a student in last year at the secondary school. She was working hard to pass the final exams and get high grades to join the university and achieve her dreams to be a doctor. My younger brothers had their dreams too. One of them was getting ready for a swimming race, and the other loves football. He always went to play football in the club. Occupation destroyed all our dreams. This is the most horrible war through history. This is not a normal war, it's a genocide. It's an ethnic cleansing for all Palestinians. Gaza is no longer a place suitable for life. We can't live here. I'm thinking seriously to leave Gaza, although I love it. But I need to complete my education to live like other people in all countries. I like to achieve my dreams. However, leaving Gaza is very difficult because of a huge amount of money requested by those responsible for travel. Help us to leave Gaza and achieve our dreams and live safely. You can communicate with me via my Instagram to help us directly. And thank you for listening.
So Malak doesn't have a GoFundMe page yet. You can't make them in Gaza. You need a family member based internationally or somebody internationally to set up the page for you, collect the funds, and then transfer the money across. So Malak is actually looking for somebody to help, somebody trustworthy, somebody reliable. So if anybody's interested, please reach out to her via her Instagram. The link should be in the description. Or if you're watching this on Spotify or something, you could also reach out to me. There should be like a question box where you can say what you thought of this episode, and you can reach out that way. Or you can just email islamicmusichub@gmail.com. There was quite a detailed story that she'd put together, and it was quite striking the amount of times they had to move around. So definitely somebody who needs help, and she just can't collect the money because she doesn't have any family abroad. So please help if you can.
This recording was brought to you by IslamicMusicHub.com.